From the Pep Radio Newsroom, these are the stories we are covering at this hour. The state of Texas has sued a Dallas doctor over accusations of providing gender-affirming care to youths, marking one of the first times a state has sought to enforce recent bans driven by Republicans. The lawsuit announced by Republican Texas Attorney General Ken Paxton on Thursday alleges that Dr. May Lau, a physician in the Dallas area, provided hormones to over 20 minors in violation of a Texas ban that took effect last year. It is the first time Texas has tried to enforce the law, said Harper Seldon, a staff attorney for the ACLU's LGBTQ and HIV project. He also said he was not aware of other states that have tried to enforce similar bans. Today, enforcement begins against those who have violated the law, Paxton's office said in the lawsuit, which was filed in suburban Collin County. The Texas law prevents transgender people under 18 from accessing hormone therapies, puberty blockers, and transition surgeries, though surgical procedures are rarely performed on children. At least 26 states have adopted laws restricting or banning gender-affirming medical care for transgender minors, and most of those states face lawsuits. Federal judges have struck down the bans in Arkansas and Florida as unconstitutional, though a federal appeals court has stayed the Florida ruling. A judge's order is in place to temporarily block enforcement of the ban in Montana, and New Hampshire restrictions are to take effect in January. In other news, a South Carolina man was sentenced to life in federal prison Thursday in the killing of a black transgender woman after the exposure of their secret sexual relationship. U.S. District Judge Sherry Lydon sentenced Daqua Lameek Ritter in federal court in Columbia. Ritter was the first person in the nation convicted of killing someone based on their gender identity. Ritter was convicted in February of a hate crime for the shooting death of Dime Doe in 2019. Dime Doe was a brave woman, U.S. Attorney Adair Ford Burroughs said to reporters outside the courthouse after the sentence was issued. She lived and she loved as herself, and no one deserves to lose their life for that. Prosecutors asked for a life sentence without parole based on federal sentencing guidelines. Defense lawyers asked for a sentence that would let Ritter out of prison Sunday, saying there was no evidence the killing was planned. They included in their request letters asking for mercy from his mother, sister, grandmother, and his two young children. Ritter shot Doe 3 times with a 22 caliber handgun after word started getting out about Ritter's relationship with Doe in the small town of Allendale, prosecutors said. Now this story from Beaver County. In a verdict that closes a nearly 3-year-long painful chapter for the family and friends of Brandon Murray, a Beaver County jury found Darese Raines guilty of her 2021 murder. Murray, who was transitioning and known to loved ones as B, was discovered in her Aliquippa apartment with 4 gunshot wounds to the head, according to WTAE. The conviction arrived yesterday, drawing a mixed torrent of relief and lingering sorrow from relatives. Details surrounding the case indicate Raines was arrested approximately a year and a half after the incident, only after extensive forensic testing linked him directly to the crime. Beaver County District Attorney Nate Bible emphasized the absence of a clear-cut motive, describing the case as unique, particularly for Beaver County. Sentencing is expected to be decided swiftly within the next 30 days. Raines was tied to the killing through DNA evidence found at the scene and on Murray's body. Additionally, security footage outside Murray's apartment became part of the prosecution's narrative, contributing to the case's path to a guilty verdict. Beaver County authorities believe that Murray and Raines were previously acquainted and may have been involved in a sexual relationship, according to CBS News in Pittsburgh. The case, which sparked calls to be investigated as a hate crime by friends of the victim, ultimately did not lead to such charges. Both Pennsylvania State Police and prosecutors concluded there was no evidence to classify it as a hate crime. That's the news at this hour. If you're watching on YouTube or our website, be sure to subscribe to our channel. For our Pep Radio listeners, let's get back to more music right now on Pep Radio.